Is anyone else back there?
There's a lot of people.
Well, I mean, as far as these type of events are bittersweet. Whenever you lose a part of your member, your family, a rock for the department, other department, a very, very important person in the community, it really, really is very difficult. And so it's hard to replace. Some people can never be replaced, and that's one thing I want to emphasize here. People can say, well, he retired one day and started here. No, he had 45 continuous years of service here for the Norman Police Department. Whether it was as a commissioned officer or civilian, he's still a lieutenant as far as we're all concerned. The unique thing about Jim is that he never ever made you feel as if you were, just because he had 45 years, that he knew more, knows more than anyone. But one of the things I enjoy about him, when you're coming in from the outside, you find a person that you can actually go and talk to, and they will be openly honest with you. Jim is very honest. And, there have been some things that I've gone and we've had closed door meetings and we've talked about, and Jim will say, Chief, I wouldn't do that. And say, why? Well, that could end your career. and so I mean, and seriously, we've had these type of conversations, and so you have to have someone that you can really talk with and you can really trust and that you really admire. And leaders don't just come with titles. This man is a leader. I just want to say that. I'm gonna miss you.
You may not.
I'm gonna miss you. But just to get started here, I wanted to tell you, Judy, thank you for, where's Judy at? Judy, thank you. Come on up here, Judy. Judy, thank you for giving it to us for 45 years. That is a long time for someone to be married to a police officer. And you worry about us from day to day. And so that says a lot about you also. So one of the things I'd like to do, Jim, is I'd like to present you with a card, your satellite, your file. Now, Kathy, is this the file just for the?
Most of it.
Okay.
I got hold of it, took a lot of stuff out.
Jim makes sure all of our documents are shredded, so there's a possibility. Here's your satellite form. Jim, there's a letter from me in there. I won't read it. You know how I feel about you. You know how the guys feel about you. And one of the things I do want to present you with is a coin. And Judy, I've got to present you with one too, because I'll tell you, put up with this guy for as many years as you can. So, I just, I can't say enough, man, to say thank you. The way this is going to work, everyone, is that former Chief Cotton, Phil Cotton, who's the executive director of the Oklahoma Association of Chiefs of Police, he has a presentation to make to Jim. And then Chief Brandon Claves and Deputy Chief Sid Porter from the Midwest City Police Department also have a presentation to make. And then what I would ask is, once they make those presentations, anyone who has something to say or another presentation, you're more than welcome to come up and do that. And then at the end, if it's all possible, Jim, you can speak now if you'd like to hold your words until then.
I better hold my.
You want to hold your words? This is what I would do. I would wait and see what everyone says. And then come back. So, Phil, come on up and make your presentation.
Kind of wearing two hats. One, I worked with this guy for 38 years. In fact, when Bob Post and I started in 1973 at the academy, we graduated, thankfully, but they assigned me to him. He was the second most senior guy in patrol with 3 years. You guys are back 3 years. He was the second highest in seniority in patrol. And so we got to know each other real well. I've known Judy since junior high days. We went to school, junior high and high school together. But I can tell you this: when I was appointed chief, the city manager, only time I ever heard the city manager say, "What do you need?" And I said, "I need to make a civilian position because we've got a lot of internal issues going on." And Jim was our professional standards guy, And so we made that position in 96 or 7. And so he retired as a lieutenant, next day came back for half pay as a civilian, or close to half pay. And over the years has contributed, like Chief said, he's contributed so much to the Norman Police Department. But he's also contributed a lot, more than anybody really knows, to the Oklahoma law enforcement by being the go-to guy for the accreditation and certification program for police departments all over the state. If someone calls me in my current position and said, I'd like a policy on this or that, I send them right to Jim. Thanks to Chief Humphrey for allowing us to continue to do that. But he's just been a great asset to the whole law enforcement community. And so the Chiefs Association would like to present this to you, a small token for your commitment to the Oklahoma Law Enforcement Agency and Accreditation Program.
Thank you.
And I'll see you.
It's, yeah, thank you. I mean, I think anybody that knows me knows that I love Eagles, so right down the line. Thank you so much. Wow. That's nice.
Chief Claves?
I'm gonna stand next to Jim, so congratulations on your 25 years. We've always felt like Midwest City and Norman have had a kindred soul. We like being associated with professional people, and we've always felt like Norman is the epitome of a professional police agency. And when we look at Jim Spearman, he's the face of Norman PD. I realized looking at your bio, I was going to school at OU when you were a police officer, and so was Phil. And so our paths never crossed during that time, so I'm very grateful for that. But I did get to know Phil when he was a sergeant, lieutenant, and captain. That's when we first really created a great relationship, and he became chief. And then we've known Jim since he was a police officer and then a civilian. And that's why we're here today. Sid told me about your retirement, says we've got to go because Jim Spearman is the reason Oklahoma has accreditation throughout the state for law enforcement agencies. And with that fact, we want to say thank you for what you've done not only for Midwest City, but agencies all across the state. And you are someone very, very special to us and always will be. So on behalf of the Midwest City Police Department, we want to present this to you. And it is the End of the Trail statute that says, Jim Spearman, Norman Police Department, thanks for all you've done for the Midwest City Police Department. God bless you in your retirement. So congratulations.
One other thing, and before I bring Major Younger, one other thing that you all may not be familiar with, this marks the 20th anniversary of the Murrah Building bombing. And let me tell you, one thing you may not know about Jim Spearman spent 139 hours at that site following that tragic event, 139 hours. And I've sit down and had an opportunity to speak with Jim, and it's just amazing the things that he did and the things that he's overcome over those last 20 years. But 139 hours of 139 dedicated hours of assisting with that tragedy. And so that is just amazing, and I think he deserves a round of applause just for that. Major Younger, if you would.
I just have a few comments. I was looking at Mr. Spearman's bio and realized when he started to work here, I was being born.
Me too.
The comments I will have are really kind of threefold and quick. I'm a believer like Jim is, and for believers, you know, our priorities are faith, family, and work in that order. And I would have you know that he has represented those the entire 20 years that I've known him. Really a stand-up guy for his family, represents him well at work, stand-up guy for his faith, and stand-up guy for his profession, as everybody's saying the things that he has done. I think you can look in this room and see the generational differences from those that have just started to those that have been here since Jim was here, across agencies, and know the impact that he's had on both individuals, the profession, and groups of people that he's interacted with. He's mentored a lot of young guys like me to where we are, so you can blame him or give him credit however you want to do that. But I really appreciate him. I appreciate his family, and I hope he'll still answer the phone when I give him a call. Thank you.
This is an an opportunity for any more presentation or anyone that'd like to come up and speak, please feel free to do so. Yes, sir, come on. You guys can just come up, you don't have to raise, just come on up.
Congratulations. This is extemporaneous, and I hope I represent the Central Oklahoma Corvette Club. Some of you might know that Jim is concurrently second year our president of the Central Oklahoma Corvette Club. Three, sorry about that. Shame on me. Third year as president of our club. I'm retired Air Force Reserve, and one of the things that I've done is write efficiency reports, and some of the words that I've used is stellar, smooth, engaging manner. And Jim represents every one of those. His daughter and my daughter grew up together, so I know Jim for a few years, and Judy. I just want to say on behalf of the Central Oklahoma Corvette Club, Jim has set the bar as president and a past chairman of our Corvette Club show every year. I was the first chairman of that show, and I'll tell you what, Jim set the bar higher than I did. And maybe it's equal, don't know, but I'll tell you this, it hasn't been exceeded. On behalf of the Central Oklahoma Corvette Club, I want to say, good on you, Jim. Good on you, Jim.
You want to go up there, Ben?
Well, let's see if I can get through this. I don't know if this is if I'm gonna be okay here or not.
Okay, go on up there, buddy. I'm the cameraman in this thing.
So, this is Dad for me and Papa for these two. And I know we're here today celebrating his service to the city and the state and our country. But to me, I'm here to celebrate Dad. He's a rock. He has been there for us in every single way. The best dad a girl could ever have. And I'm just so proud of you. I'm so honored to be your daughter. And I look up to you so much. And I know you know that. And I know that these two love you more than anything in this world, right, guys? Yeah. And so, Dad, we just want to say congratulations, and we love you. And we want you to take some time and put some miles on your bed now, okay?
Commissioner Davidson, did you want to say something?
I'm a real ghost of the past of Jim. I spent a few years down here at Norman, and when I came on, Jim was a patrol sergeant and everything, and I've, remember lots of things about him, and I've even talked to young officers, young troopers over the years to emulate some of the principles that Jim has as far as the integrity and character, because he taught me some things, and I hope I carried some of them on. And Jim, in the law enforcement community, he will be missed, because even over the years I've called him once or twice, and not as much as some of you people have, but I still remember Jim and appreciate him from years ago, and what he's done with Norman now, because Norman has really evolved over the years in their police department, and I know the foundations like Jim being there has really helped that out. So thank you, Jim.
You're not gonna get away without telling them that I just.
Okay, yeah. Okay, this is the real story. Me, Jim, he twisted me up like a pretzel one time. Real story. Back in the 70s, there's a police Olympics going on, and we thought that we'd participate, and I was going to do some weightlifting and track, and I thought I'd try my hand at wrestling. I wrestled a little bit in high school, and I didn't know the magnitude of police Olympics and how good those guys really are. Well, Jim, he wrestled quite a bit and everything, so we was out there on the mat down at the rec center on Northeast 12th Street, and I mean, he just wrapped me up like a pretzel. Now I will say this, in all honesty too, from that experience, I've told officers, and I did it myself, You know, back then, I used to run quite a bit, and this and that, but I learned just because you can run doesn't mean you have the aerobic endurance to fight on the ground. And so I've told officers, if you really want to survive and everything with aerobics, do a lot of grass drills and things like that, as opposed to those long distance runs, because that's where you're going to survive. So just from that experience alone, that type of knowledge and what I experienced has passed off to some other guys, is to be prepared for that kind of stuff, because all fights are underground.
Anyone else? Okay. Anyone else? Well, Jim, it's your,
It's my turn.
it's your turn.
See if I can't do this.
He's got a list.
It's not very long, but
Take your time, man.
I didn't want to forget
This is your day, man. Take your
anybody.
time.
First of all, I got to introduce my family. Of course, this is my wife, Judy, for 47 years. And I'm not sure, I think it's all her fault. Yeah, I would have kicked me out a long time. And then, of course, you met my daughter and grandchildren and my son-in-law, Alan. And we got Bob and Edith over here, in-laws, and I've got a couple of other in-laws. Oh, there's Sue Wayne right there. And my nephew, John, that was also a former Norman officer. And then he had to go to OBN, and his wife, Mary. And so anyway, I want to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy day to be here. It is much appreciated. Everyone in here is friends, and really, I'll say everybody in here is family. Obviously, I've got my family, but I've got my law enforcement family, which is anyone in the criminal justice system, whether you are an officer, a dispatcher, a records clerk, a prosecutor, and David's already gone, so I can say that. But that's my law enforcement family. And then I have my City of Norman family. There are just a lot of folks within the city, obviously with the police department, that we have to work with on a daily basis, everything from the city manager and city clerk's office down to and including the sanitation department, public works, anyone you can think of that we have to work with on a daily basis. And then you've already met part of my Corvette family, and there are quite a few of them back there. I really didn't expect that, but thank you guys very much for coming. In fact, most of the officers down here know what the third Wednesday of each month, I bring a big
Tuesday.
But it's the third Wednesday that I bring all of the sweets that are left over. I bring them down to the break room over the PD, and they're gone. And there's Marilyn. If you'll look out, Marilyn's responsible for all of that. I've got my church family, and I don't think they're here today. We had a death at one of our longtime members at the church. Their funeral was today at 2 o'clock, so not very many, I don't know if there's anyone here from our church family or not. Is Rick Jackson here? Gary Shelton's here? So Rick and Gary are kind of a member of both families, because they're a member of the law enforcement family, and then you turn around and they like the vets so much that they decided to go out and buy them one too. So and both of them are new members of the Corvette Club too.
I will say, Tim has done a really good job of spending my money for me.
I hit a black woman, I pulled in out of the parking lot.
That's all right.
That great when I get up.
Yeah. There have been a lot of people throughout my career that have taught me and supported me, and some of them are older than me, some of them are younger than me, but that have taught me and supported me, and I've learned a lot from them, so I really appreciate them. I can't imagine myself being in a profession other than law enforcement. It's just a solid family. There have been lots, of course, like life, there are high mountaintops and there are some deep, deep valleys. And I've been in all of them. I think the deepest valley has been when my partner and good friend was killed. I don't know what the highest mountaintop is, but there have been tons of them. Many more mountaintops. And through all this, there have been times when I thought, am I really in the right profession? And then there have been times when I thought, they're going to fire me for this one. And then there have been, anyone in law enforcement, there's always been those times, you know, when you come around the corner and there's a 45 in your face and you think, I'm on my way to see Jesus. This is going to be it. So it's been fun, but through all of it, and some of you will appreciate this, Chief, more than others, from beginning to end, I can tell you that it has been one great ride. That may not be familiar with that, one great ride is the tag on my Corvette. So it fits both. It fits both. So thank you guys very much again for being here. I really appreciate it, but this is not the end. I will still be down bugging people and knocking on your doors and everything else. So thank you for everything. Much appreciated.
One thing I'd like for each of you all to just look around the room, and it's like I said earlier, you have so much representation from the state, federal government, friends and stuff like that. I mean, that says a lot, man. I've been to retirements where there's been one or two people. You had to pay them to come. This is one that, you know, it says a lot about you, man, your life. This tells you how many lives you've touched in 45 years of law enforcement. So thank you, Jim. Doors open anytime, and I'll be calling you for some advice, because you kind of kept me grounded.
Well, you know, you can also ask these ladies back here, because they know everything that I know.
That's scary.
Yeah, these folks back here, we didn't have to pay them to come over here and do this.
Right.
This is Lisa and Kathy, and Montisha and Beverly, I'm sorry, folks. I work with them, and what a spread they put out. So,
Well, Jim, thank you. Guys, please, does anyone else have anything to say before we close out and turn everyone over loose on the fresh refreshments?
yeah, there's some good cake up here.
Thank you all for coming, and please enjoy and mingle with Jim and his family.
Thank you.
Guess I have. Hope so, right?